Biafra, meherani onuzo ke Biafra, na meherani onuzo ke Biafra, meherani onuzo ke Biafra.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you to this amazing platform. Thank you so much for joining me on today's program, and I wish you a very happy new year. Finally, we are now in the year 2025. And as we proceed in the year 2025, we must not forget that we have a lot of responsibilities. Our responsibility in this platform is to give you information and make sure that you have an update on what is going on in Biafra land, more especially things that has to do with the restoration of independent state of Biafra. Today, I am going to share with you a very important video. Please pay attention to this video. In all the information that we see here, you are going to see that they have started again a new deceit to distract us from the restoration of independence of Biafra. We must not be distracted. It is either Biafra or nothing. Nnamdi Kanu said it to us, and he has not changed his mind. If anybody tries to insinuate that Nnamdi Kanu have changed, that is a lie. Watch this video from beginning to the end. You will understand that the enemies will never give up. And those of us who are focusing on the restoration of Biafra, we must not give up. Do not get distracted, regardless what you hear or what you see. Always remember that it is Biafran first. All eyes must be on the rising sun. Every eye must be on the rising sun. Do not allow yourself to be carried away with things that are happening around you. The restoration of independence state of Biafra is one thing that we must focus on. We have the United States of Biafra now. Let's watch.
While in Nigeria, the family of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has recently berated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his failure to honor an alleged agreement between his son, Sheyi Tinubu, and the family over the release of their son, Nnamdi Kanu. In a statement on Thursday, just yesterday, Kanu's younger brother, Prince Emmanuel Kanu, claimed shortly before the 2023 general elections that he and Sheyi struck a deal on the release of the IPOB leader. According to him, Sheyi, with his father's approval, met with him in Abuja, where it was agreed that IPOB would not boycott the election on the condition that Tinubu would release Nnamdi Kanu after he emerged as president. Prince Emmanuel expressed disappointment that nearly 2 years after the emergence of Tinubu as president, his brother Kanu has continued to languish in detention, even though the presiding judge, Justice Binta Nyako, has since recused herself from the matter. He said it was shameful that those who claim to be honorable fail to keep their word. The statement reads, and I state, before the last election, I received a message from an ex-governor that Sheyi, the son of President Tinubu, wanted to see me. I agreed to meet with him on the condition that the overriding priority, and hence the fulcrum of the discussion, will be the release of my brother Nnamdi Kanu. The meeting was held in Abuja in the presence of another individual whom I asked along to witness the deliberations and, if need be, provide independent verification should the need arise. Sheyi confirmed to me that his father sanctioned the meeting and that I should consider any agreement we reach as binding on the then candidate Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In good faith, we agreed that I shall relay the outcome to my brother to reinforce the long-held tradition of IPOB not interfering with the conduct of elections, either through boycott or any other form of civil disobedience. This understanding was duly communicated to my brother, and he reaffirmed his commitment not to stop the elections or order any boycott. Mr. Elvis Elimihele. Mr. Elvis Elimihele is a political, national, and social affairs commentator. Mr. Elvis Elimihele will be giving us his insight into some questions on the stories read out on the World News at 12. Mr. Elvis, good afternoon and welcome to the World News at 12. Happy New Year to you.
Good afternoon, Esther. Happy New Year 2025.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for being here on the World News. And of course, this is the first time we're going to be having a conversation during the new year on this particular segment of our programming on VOP. Mr. Elvis, let me ask you a question. According to Nnamdi Kanu's family, they actually disclosed that they had an agreement with the son of the president prior to the 2023 elections or during the election period when campaigns were ongoing. Then the president was obviously still a senator. And that according to Sheyi Tinubu, he had disclosed according to the brother of Nnamdi Kanu or the family member of Nnamdi Kanu, that Sheyi Tinubu said the president now sanctioned that meeting and that, they were going to look into it. Unfortunately, it seems that there is a call of betrayal. The family is saying that they've been betrayed by the presidency, that is the president and his son. Now, is the son of the president not hear anything like this about a conversation between the presidency or the president's son and this proposed release of Nnamdi Kanu, if at all the president's win or if they're able to give the president whatever required support? So how do we authenticate this supposed agreement? The lawyer has never mentioned it for once in all the time he's addressed the press. And if this is the case and there is nothing valid written on paper to actually say, okay, this meeting took place, this agreement took place, whose words should anyone take? Who should anyone believe? The president can easily distance himself from these proclamations being made by Prince Emmanuel.
I said it's a nice one, Esther, because it has been brought to discussion now. I know that we've been discussing about this Nnamdi Kanu, for some time now, for some years now, and nobody has heard anything about agreement. But now, an agreement has come in that he had with the first family. They had it with the first family. So that's a good one for us to start the new year and start discussing his release by the same government that is headed by the first family whom we had an agreement with. Then the lawyer also now is privy to this type of agreement now. So the agreement needs to be probed for. Who were those that were in that sitting, what were the resolution, and where is the condition backing up the agreement? So it can be picked up from there. It's already in the open play now that it's open for discussions now. So if there is anything that is being hindering that agreement for it not to be carried out since the president came into power, it will now be open for Nigeria to be discussed and look at the way forward for the young man, Nnamdi Kanu, to be released. So that's why I said it's a nice one. Before now, even last Sunday when we had closed up for our discussions on political life, we still made mention about Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration for over 2 years. But we never heard of the agreement. The agreement has come in the new year. It's a good one for us to discuss further and find and chart the way forward for the young man to be released.
Mr. Elvis, the reason why there is... Okay, so let's look at this part of the statement. He said, Sheyi confirmed to me that his father sanctioned the meeting, that I should consider any agreement we reach as binding on the then candidate, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, he said, in good faith, we agreed that I shall relay the outcome to my brother to reinforce the long-held tradition of IPOB not interfering with the conduct of elections, either through boycott or any other form of civil disobedience. And this understanding was duly communicated to his brother. Don't you think this particular statement he made here was indicting by saying that most of the civil disobedience occurring in the Southeast is actually by IPOB, whereby there was an agreement that, okay, IPOB would not disturb the peace or sanity of that region. Since there's an agreement, we're going to communicate with them so that whatever intention they have to scuffle the elections at the time in the Southeast will actually be derailed. So don't you think that this particular statement he made is actually quite indicting for him to have informed that there was a promise made that is like, if you agree to help facilitate the release of my brother when you come on board, I promise that IPOB will not be engaged in any civil disobedience or in any way to, inundate the elections in 2023. How do you see that phrase in his response or reaction to this betrayal, as he claims?
If to tell the world what they discussed in the closet where we were not part of it, and a party to the agreement has not fulfilled its own side, there's a betrayal there. If the family president releases him, and Nnamdi Kanu is able to work with the government to nip the security in the southeast in the bog as it is now, then there will be progress. But now, Nnamdi Kanu is still in incarceration. IPOB is still being described as a proscribed organization. So, and there are so many things that are still,
Mr. Elvis, do you understand the question I asked you? I read out the phrase that this man said. And I'm saying that, don't you think it is indicting for that particular disclosure by saying that we will tell our people to calm down, we will ensure that we show you the necessary support, elections will be smooth in our region if this agreement is binding? Don't you think he has indicted that, okay, maybe somehow Nnamdi Kanu still has any link or relationship with the current insecurity in the southeast with IPOB members? Because this particular phrase is very indicted with this statement that was made.
Yeah, but Nnamdi Kanu has not been released. Since it has not been released, where is the indictment there? If it's released and the insecurity continues, that's where the issue would have be saying, no, there is a betrayal. This man is still in incarceration. They made some of these promises during the electoral campaign.
Yes.
Politicians can sign agreements and make promises, during campaign. And most times when they get into office, they renege. That's what caused problem with most of the godfathers and their sons when they are campaigning and when they are making this agreement, at closed doors. That's what we are saying here. Now, this agreement were electoral campaign agreement, and now execution is necessary for them to come up, and it has not been done. So that's where the betrayal is coming in from. The family of Nnamdi Kanu that are saying, that it's like the part of the agreement has not been, agreed on. They are betrayed. They are not wrong. If you have an agreement that you made during your electoral campaign, and the family were able to work with you to, get your own side of the of the promises you made, if they got it for you, then it is now left for you to also, rub your shoulder with them and do likewise what you both agreed on. And it has not happened. The president has been there now going to a year plus, going to 2 years now. Nnamdi Kanu is in incarceration. We see to cut over back and forth, throughout last year, and even nothing happened. So I think it's good he came out and told the world now that there was an agreement concerning this matter.
All right, so if that is the case, if, for example, again, this is a verbal agreement, the president can easily distance himself by actually let me not use the word lying, denying that he ever or such a conversation took place. Now, it's now left for Prince Emmanuel to bring the witness that was with him when they went to Abuja, and the supposed ex-governor that said, okay, we can facilitate this, that actually called him and invited him. Now, in a situation like this, do you think that there is a deliberate reason why the president has been quiet about Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration? I recall in 2023 with the media chat, that conversation did not even come up at all. And the president has also said that he's going to allow all institutions to work out themselves. He doesn't want to infuse or influence the outcome of how institutions conduct themselves and the rules and regulations required within those institutions to conduct themselves, which includes the judiciary, INEC, and other sensitive institutions. Do you think that is what is playing out here? Or the president is literally just being indifferent and allowing the law to take its course?
Well, you are not far from it's what is clear, but the president is the president of the nation. He has an authority over all the agencies. This is what I want from you. Do this for me. And they will go ahead and do it. We need him to make a pronouncement, even if it will be closer to the agency concerning Nnamdi Kanu's matter, and also concerning this agreement that they came into with the son. I think the son is a young man. Should even be able to remind his father, if his father remember some of these promises and agreements, that we said this at so time. And that's why I said earlier, I think there are weaknesses. And the witnesses can further help to probe this matter, the sincerity of this matter forward, how genuine, how truthful it is before Nigerians.
But Mr. Elvis, is Seyi Tinubu the candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the 2023 elections? Is Seyi Tinubu the official representative at the time? Don't you think that it literally did not make any sense to have that kind of agreement with the son of the president, who seemed supposedly desperate to see how they could curry support and favor from all and sundry to ensure that his father wins the election. How do you take that commitment or that conversation valid and then say, okay, it was an agreement between I and Seyi Tinubu, who says his father sanctioned it? How do you do that?
That's where the issue is Esther, because some of those agreements the son went on behalf of the father. Some of them are like, are against the national discourse. Like, even before the father came into power, IPOP has been proscribed by Buhari's government. By Buhari's government. So if the son is going to make an agreement with somebody they said is the leader of IPOP, that his father was going to do this when he comes into power, it is also now left for him, the son, to be able to put the father through all he agreed with them and be able to sensitize him on the way to think of how to release Nnamdi Kanu. Remember that Asari Dokubo also came up with an agreement and when the agreement was not coming to pass, as before Asari Dokubo had boss concerning this government too. So there were some agreement that the son who is not a party, he was not the Kaka, he was not the flag bearer. He was not the flag bearer. He was not even an executive of the APC, but he was just standing in as the son of the candidate today, because his father has not won the election. Has not won there.
So do you think that now that the father has won, and maybe there's been silence for a long time, maybe calls have been pulled through and nobody is responding, do you think that's why Prince Emmanuel is now putting it to light?
That's why he's coming out to tell the world that this was not the son. That's why I'm also reminding another. If he has made some of this agreement on behalf of his father, during the electionary campaign, he should not remind the father that is there anything we can be upset or we can come out, with to tell Nigerians this is what we want to do in this matter. Because we have had a year plus now. His father is in government. It's enough time for the son to be able to. I mean, the government has come to say after that now that he should not be reminding his father. Let's see what we can do in this matter, because this is what I promised this people when I was also part of your campaign trail to get into this position. It is time now for him to remind his father and to not tell him, because there were some of them that the father was not aware of. He should be able to talk to his father. Now, I did this on your behalf. I made this promise on your behalf. I made this agreement on your behalf. Please, what can you do now that you are there as the president? So that's why I said this discussion is coming at this time. This is January. We are just beginning the year. So let's see that as it's in the media now, I will slug it within the next quarter or thereabout, whether we're going to get results out of it.
All right.
The lawyers of Nnamdi Kanu is aware of this agreement. The lawyers also scrutinize it and look at everybody that
exactly. I'm waiting for the lawyers to respond.
Yes.
And Seyi Tinubu as well.
And Tinubu's son can also respond.
Yes.
And say whether the family is any like or not. So the family should also be able to have their witness ready. All those that were with them when this discussion was made. That will not make the discussion to be robust and become a national discourse and see how it can head the matter on ground forward to go on.
All right, Mr. Elvis, I'm so sorry that it seems like most of the question is on Southeast and Nnamdi Kanu, but these are very breaking stories and it's pertinent that we discuss it. So let's look at the current insecurity right now. Let's not even call it insecurity. The recent killings in Anambra, for example, is become rampant and consistent. Nobody knows exactly what the root cause of it is. Others feel that it's a political maneuver since Anambra election is taking place this year. But we thought that with the apprehension, since they've apprehended Nnamdi Kanu, or he's within the Finnish custody, sorry, not Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa, that we're not going to experience any of this happening, right now in Anambra and some parts of Imo State. So the question now is this: if Finland meant in exile Prime Minister has now been locked up in the Finnish custody, and it seems now that that direct reaction, or order that they usually say comes from him is no longer in term. So who are the persons perpetrating this criminality in Anambra State and in the Southeast, or rather some regions in the Southeast?
Yeah, there were already criminal elements who has already implemented the good work of IPOP.
Okay.
Now. And also, we saw that Simon Ekpa was fueling in from Finland. Now that Simon Ekpa has been picked up, I was even expecting that the Monday sit at home by now would have been a thing of the past. But I have to tell you now that as the Monday sit at home still continues and the insecurity still continues, that there are some elements who are brought into the good intention IPOB have to now begin to use it to commit crime and enslaving Jason Southeastern brothers. So this is why I always say that the government must find a way to settle amicably with IPOB so that these elements who have hijacked this and now made it like a means of livelihood to them can now be picked up and tried genuinely with the loss of the land and sentenced as appropriate.
All right.
So this is why the arrest of Simon Ekpa right there in Finland is a good way forward.
All right, Mr. Elvis, I'm sorry that I'm rushing you because we're running out of time. Apparently, experts in the United States, Europe, they are inviting the United Nations and International Criminal Court. They are demanding for an urgent intervention in the killings right now in that region. They are saying throw weight behind inter-society special reports on, according to these experts, they called it war zone situation in eastern Nigeria. They're urging the incoming Trump administration to adopt the report as working document on human rights and international development partnership policies on Nigeria and its government. This group, they distinguish themselves and they're asking everyone, all and sundry, on the shocking development in the southeast, particularly the incessant killings in Anambra State. They said that Chicago, in Illinois, the coalition is urging the UN International Criminal Court to intervene urgently and investigate claims contained in a report whereby they said blood flowing into Nigeria, human rights made in Nigeria, and according to the Inter-Society is a catalogue of the armed state actor and armed non-state actor atrocities in the East since August 2015. In the past 9 years, they are asking the United Nations to quickly look into it. They are saying that tens and tens of thousands of persons, defenseless citizens, including those abducted, those who have been disappeared, they've been tortured, their body has been lacerated, some of them have been burnt, their properties razed, a couple of civilian homes valued at over 450 billion naira raided, 300 defenseless Igbo communities, 60,000 inhabitants, and frightened and forced over 1 million others to flee their homes. So what do you think the UN would do in regards to this? Because this is something that is contained within the country that you expect a sovereign nation to deal with.
But Nigeria is a part of UN human rights group. Nigeria signed that agreement, so the UN must be able to also show that are, facing this kind of criminality from government. The UN should be able to sanction Nigeria government. The UN should be able to remind Nigeria government that they are part of the duty to human rights of nation. Therefore, I expect them to be able to investigate most of those things to mention, because we know too well that there are camps. We have heard of, Nigeria army set up camps where people are detained unnecessarily and people are tortured. We also heard of most of the young men are fleeing that part of Nigeria to other parts now because of the insecurity, at which they are saying that part of Nigeria armed forces are even part of those that are escaping.
Yes,
so
that's what the report said.
Yes, that's what we have been hearing. The UN must be able to investigate this and make that appropriate sanction to Nigeria government where they have fair against the citizens, since they are part of the human rights treaty organization signed by them to be part of it.
All right, because they're also saying that apparently cars of these individuals, some innocent Southeasterners, have been sold by state actors and non-state actors, where they seize it irredeemably without no questions are asked and all of that stuff. And they're saying that some of these things are being aided by the Nigerian security forces to influx and proliferate estimated 2.7 million illicit small arms and light weapons across eastern Nigeria. Don't you think this is a very huge allegation? A very huge allegation that this particular expert or inter-society, based on that report, are calling for, because they're actually saying that there in the US, the Nigerians in diaspora, a 76 or 78 compilation of that particular document has been put together, and they say they have evidence to prove all that was written in that report concerning all the tragic incidents that has been occurring in the Southeast since 2015. Others are now asking the administration of the president to intervene, and some people say the presidency has tried to intervene, but then those in that region are saying we don't want the president's help. They don't want their help. They just want them to release Nnamdi Kanu and then leave the region alone. So for Anambra State precisely, how do you describe a recent development that took place where persons who were at a funeral were killed by supposed unknown gunmen? Now, people are saying these unknown gunmen are persons, that are working for Asari Dokubo. But it has become one too many in that region. So, what decisive action do you think should be taken now? Not tomorrow, but now?
It is even now, it's already too late, Esther. The decision has to be taken as fast as possible because unknown gunmen was not part of the struggle for the Eastern emancipation. Unknown gunmen just came from nowhere. We know of myself over the years. But where is unknown gunmen coming from? That is to tell you that the good work of IPOP and others have been infiltrated. So I read that Governor Soludo has said he's setting up a very large security network. To begin
he called it Operation
Yes.
Udogachi.
Yes, he gave the name. Yes, right. So let us see how that this operation that is setting up will be able to work with the people. Let me tell you that if the people are taken away from me, it will not work.
But the president, the governor of Anambra State placed 10 million naira bounty on anyone who knows those who perpetrated the Ihiala attack. He placed a 10 million naira bounty. Do you think anyone will blow the whistle? Because anytime whistleblowers talk, they always think that they are culprits.
All those bounties have never worked in Nigeria because Nigerians are even afraid to give the government information because at the end of the day, you discover that even the people that gave us those information are going to will now become scapegoat because the government themselves, don't have this idea of taking information that is linked to them. It will not work. But what I'm expecting the governor to do is the governor should be able to be closer to the youth and even find a way to recruit them to be part of this security that he is coming up with. Because if this is the conventional security against the Nigeria police and DSS and all that, the people in the Southeast no longer trust this Nigeria police and DSS and armed forces again because they are even saying that they are part of those that are, the part of those that are causing some of the mayhem that goes on in the South. So that war will continue to remain there and people's rights will continue to be trampled upon. So it has to find a way to work with people, not just giving out all this, to check the security situation and all over the Southeast into the hands of Nigerian armed forces. The people of the Southeast don't trust Nigerian armed forces to be able to check this insecurity in the Southeast.
All right, Mr. Elvis, I'm sure you heard the recent media address that Peter Obi actually did yesterday. It was aired or, re-aired on some major television stations. And of course, right here as well, we've been discussing that. Now, the APC has responded to Peter Obi, calling him a prophet of doom. They say that some of the declarations he made are just unrealistic. And according to them, or Felix Moka, let me not use them, although Felix Moka represents the APC and all supporters of the APC, they say that it is not true. According to him, via a statement, Felix Moka said that they disagree with him, that in the past few months, the country's economy has made progress. Now, that is in contrast or is in juxtaposition to the lamentation from Nigerians, which, for example, as you could see, the recent stampedes that took place in Anambra, Oyo, and Abuja. So how does Felix Moka's response to what Peter Obi said, which a couple of people feel is a realism of what Nigerians are going through, how does it correspond? How does his response actually correspond with what Peter Obi said? How do you make such a statement that has no correlation, despite the anguish of Nigerians since the administration took over?
Well, I was totally so disappointed with Felix Moka when I was watching him on news channels last night, giving names to be and what the situation that we are going through in Nigeria. If they keep talking about their data that Nigeria is better now for the past 3 months, this Christmas and New Year we just finished have totally dented whatever index or whatever they are relying on. Because we did not see it on Nigerians. We saw the number of people that died, because of food. We also saw now that Nigerians are talking of going back to school by Monday now. How many children that will be dropped out of school now because their parents could not afford it? So everything will be said in that press briefing yesterday. I watched it live. There is no Nigerians are fully in support of everything he said. there is no compensation. They did not miss words. But you know, APC are good in propaganda, in defending, and even when it is telling us at the face we are here in Nigeria, we know what is going on. APC will always come. But Smoker should know better than this. Even in his own Delta state where he comes from. Look at all the number of palliatives that people were running up and down in Delta state because of Christmas and New Year. You know, why is APC turning Nigeria to a palliative country? Palliative cannot solve the problem we have in Nigeria. You are coming to keep people behind. There are people who should be empowered to be able to feed their family. At the end of the day, you give them today, tomorrow they don't have it again. Then they begin to think of survival and crime begin to come in. So I think APC should do better. It's a new year, and they should be reminded of the 2025 and that the government, this present administration has just 2 years ahead. By 2027, this government is supposed to go. I want more of such reminder of where Nigerians are lacking, where the issue is reaching Nigeria. I want more, not just to be alone. Every other political party, even those that contested in the past election, somebody like Atiku Abubakar, Adebayo, and all of them should begin to remind this government, because they need to be reminded that once the statistics they are churning out is not reflecting on Nigeria.
Okay. Whether
they said the economy is doing well, Nigerians are not feeling it. A bag of rice was 140,000 naira in this Christmas. Where is Nigeria feeling it? Did it come down? How many Nigerians are able to travel, to pay your transport from Lagos to Abuja or wherever, or even in the Southeast? You are talking of something 40,000. Has it come down? So if these things are affecting Nigerians, Nigerians will be able to say it and say it, vividly. And that's what the police said yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what everything the police said is the stark reality of what Nigerians are going through. Giving opinions and calling doomsday and all this, I don't know where he got the statistics wrong. But the statistics they are showing that has never affected Nigeria positively. So the stark reality on ground is that APC has not fared well in this Tinubu came into power.
All right, a couple of persons will disagree with you by saying that the APC is just barely a year and a few months. No magic can happen within that period, considering the kind of administration he inherited from, from the activities of his predecessor.
We would have accepted all those kind of pleasing excuses from them if they were talking of another government they took over from. They took over from APC. Buhari was there for 8 years, an APC president. An APC president came in again and said he knows the job, that we should give him the job. He knows what he's going for, and he was coming to solve it for all. So where is the excuse coming from? I think people we're talking of PDP that have led power now for almost 12 years, almost 10 years. I think people are mentioning PDP. The Buhari's government was an APC government, product this nation. Then Tinubu came in and said, give me this job. I know what Nigerians need. I will solve it. And we are seeing where we are now. We are not so reversed. So there's no any Nigerian that is disagreeing with me or disagreeing with what to be said must be part of the APC and those that are benefiting from them.
All right. Well, apparently the chairman of the North Central All Progressives Congress, Alhaji Saleh Zagazaga, has asserted that there is no force capable of preventing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from securing victory in 2027. So are we going to say that it's obvious that the president will actually re-campaign or re-run in 2027, and that already they are ensuring that the pillars remains in such a way that he secures a victory in 2027, although he has not made any mention as to his ambition for 2027?
Well, Esther, let me tell you, 2027 is still about 2 years from now, but let me tell you, if the opposition do not do their homework very well, they will fall into this cheap campaign of what he has just said. That's why we are calling on the opposition. It is time for them to start talking of realignment and forming a consensus group so that they can have, because I heard the yesterday saying that there is no consensus between him and other parties.
Yes, just like Professor did.
We want to see them dropping their individual interests. Some of these politicians so much believe in their personal interests. Let the person that Nigerians can rally around and do that is coming to do the business of Nigeria get the ticket to be able to confront APC. If we say APC is not good and we then we are going now, we don't have a strong opposition to counter them by 2027. What this man just said, we just come to play easily. You know, they have all the agencies in their hand.
Yes.
They own the INEC, they own the armed forces. And these are the ones they use for the election. So we need a strong opposition, and we need that Nigeria that Nigerians can rally around, who is not coming for self-interest, who is coming to tell Nigerians that this is what I want to come and do, and give time. Within the first 6 months, if you give me this money, I don't do this, call for my impeachment. Those are the things we're supposed to be saying now. Want to see alignment, want to see, political parties forming groups. Not just coming to form the one that will be coming in for his or our own interest. Want to see somebody like Nigerians can rally around.
All right.
Let's begin to discuss his profile. From that, the campaign will be lifted, and we will now know the person we want to, pew behind for 2027 election. We should not leave APC to continue in this manner. If they continue in this manner, we will see a repetition of what happened in 2023 in 2027.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis Ali Mehele. Happy New Year to you once again. I did not intend to.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what you think about the video I just played, go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go through the comment section, and I bet you I am learning a lot from there, and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much, and stay blessed. Don't forget to share, and we continue to bless you as you share. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity, and equity. We move airborne.